Angelo Becciu, because you don't know who that is, he's a cardinal that's supposed to have been on the conclave to pick the new pope. Well, he can't do that anymore. The man's been done gone and got arrested. Embezzlement, to be exact. And that's causing a little bit of a stir. Not too much, because you know what they can do? Just swap out uh, cardinals. However, what is being reported is a little bit disconcerting for the cloth itself. Um, this is what it says. This is the article. An Italian cardinal who has been convicted of embezzlement and fraud on Tuesday said he would not take part in the secret conclave to elect a new pope, as thoughts turned to who will succeed the Pope of Francis, who died last week. Cardinal Angelo Becciu, the most senior, listen to this, the most senior Catholic Church official ever to stand before Vatican criminal court, was sentenced to 5.5 years in jail. In December 2023, he denies all wrongdoing and is now free pending an appeal. Now, here's the biggest question. Is this going to affect at all in any way, shape, form, or fashion the choosing of the next pope? Chances are it's not really going to affect it a whole lot. But if somebody were to feel so inclined, would it be able to bring forward other cardinals that could be involved in other nefarious thing and thereby shut down the conclave? Will it open the doors for other people to be inspected, check into, and see if the papacy might have been covering for other cardinals that have also been involved in crimes? Now, we all know that the Catholic Church has not been the most transparent when it comes to nefarious deeds of their priests, much less their cardinals. So we have to at least take this particular allegation as not just a one-off. They've made involved in a couple other things that are not so money related. They're more of a relational things with children. I think you can infer what I'm getting here. If that be the case, and this thing doesn't go too far downhill, what does it mean for others? Does it mean that there will be a whole upheaval of the conclave before the choosing? Will it cause a little bit of a stir within the people after they've chosen this new pope? Will it cause fear? What will it do?
Training athletes, build leaders, changing communities. At Mentors for Life, sponsored by the Bully Me Bad Project, we provide free professional sports training and mentorship to youth with passion, drive, and the desire to grow. We connect them with top-tier coaching and leadership tools that unlock their full potential. Our athletes train with elite professionals like Coach Cedric Booty of CM3, who's worked with NBA players such as Jaden Ivey and Blake Wesley, and the dynamic team of Tevin Lake and Bobo from T2 Sports Performance. Together, they've trained standout athletes including Notre Dame football stars, NFL offensive lineman Danny Piner, and Kyron Williams. In a school or neighborhood of 1,000 youth, 5 redirected lives can mean 5 future leaders, 5 families spared heartbreak, and 5 powerful stories of hope. And this is backed by research from the Money Smart Athlete Foundation, which shows that athletes have a powerful influence on youth behavior, confidence, and long-term success. We don't just build athletes, we build mentors. High school students who complete our program will become certified Mentors for Life members and will be paid to speak, lead, and coach the next generation. To support Mentors for Life, all you have to do is click here if you're on a mobile device, or click here if you're on a computer to donate or learn more. Or you can reach us directly at mentorsforlife574@gmail.com. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Mentors for Life. Donate today and help save our youth.
The Pope allowed Bucci to keep his eschatological title, and his Vatican apartment, but stripped him of what the Vatican said at the time were the rights associated with being a cardinal. Sidebar. If I'm guilty of something so grave, why would you strip me of one thing but not remove me completely? It must mean something. It must mean that you don't really want me to go away. or you don't really believe that the charges brought against me is worthy of the kind of things. Man, you're in jail for 5 years. At least that's what you were given. I don't see how they make a differentiation here. Anyway, leaving ambiguity over whether he would join the conclave, having a good heart or having at heart a good church, I have decided to obey, as I always have, the will of Pope Francis and to not enter the conclave. But hold on. You're trying to tell me that Pope Francis had already told him not to, but you didn't remove any of that stewardship from him. That doesn't make any sense. If you removed him from it, why would you think he could still join and him obeying you to not do it, but you should have just removed him completely from everything, shouldn't you? I don't know. Anyway, he says, still remaining convinced of my innocence. Um, the resurfacing of Becciu incident issue could deal a blow to the Italian cardinal, which was one of the ones he was looking at. Pietro, if you remember him, I told you he was one of the more liberal ones, a senior Vatican official who was seen as a leading candidate to succeed Francis. Becciu case entered over a messy $200 million purchase of a building in London by the Secretary of State, the Vatican's key administrative and diplomatic department, headed by Perlon, who has not been accused of any wrongdoing. Mind you, listen here carefully, that the person that was part of the procedure to buy the building was the new cardinal that they're hoping to look at for the papacy. And so the one that has been arrested was the one that was involved in buying it under the okaying of the one looking to become pope. You see where the problem lies? And so they were probably thinking this would be a conflict of interest, or it might end up being that there are friends talking about friends looking after friends, so I can't have you on the conclave. However, if you even have a hint of it, and he might not be the only one involved, this could be, like I said earlier, a way for them to open up an investigation to see how many other cardinals were either involved, privy to, or know about, and might prevent the election of Pietro. It might open the room for a whole different person altogether to be thrown in the hat. Or they could escalate the conclave without anybody looking into it, elect Pietro, and not have anything to worry about and get what they want. I mean, it happens all the time, right? When the people that does something wrong investigate themselves, they won't really find anything wrong about what they did. They're just going to say, yeah, it was fine. He didn't have any dealings at all with it. We're fine. He's going to be the next pope. They went on to say this: as far as the conclave is concerned, it has been resolved. I guess that answers my question. They're not going to look any further into any other member. Regarding Becciu's person, it is my personal opinion that he was not treated very well. German Cardinal Gerhard Müller, a conservative who clashed with Francis, told Reuters. This could cause a little bit of a rift. I'm not sure it's going to go very far, but it could cause a rift within the hierarchy of the papacy. If the Holy See doesn't get a hold of this very quickly, this could end up going into a little bit of a chaotic state. However, that could lean right into where things are going anyway. Let's say, for instance, they decide, okay, we're going to hurry up and get the conclave over and done with, but there is pushback and they have to postpone things like they have before, the picking of one, until they decide they need more people for the pool. What if in the middle of all of that, they decide they can't come up with somebody and they have to try a different method, which they have before, a very late one, to try and have a handful, select the next papacy. If that's the case, then you go overwrite a lot of people who may have discrepancies or problems with the new pick, and you can put somebody in there that they seem necessary to be in there that could link, as we talked before, about that AC guy, the Antichrist. There's a lot that's riding on this. And I don't mean because the church, the Catholic Church is such a great pariah of moral, absolute authority. It's not that. I'm just saying, based on what history has told us and what the future is supposed to hold, this could be the beginning of seeing that transition from just being a pope to being something more. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But there's some far-reaching issues that are going to have to be addressed. very far-reaching issues that need to be addressed, especially if there's still people on the inside who have had dealings with this convicted cardinal and the one that's still there trying to make a decision on the conclave. There could be some major issues. Again, we'll have to wait and see this one out. It is just a matter right now of a wait and see for the Holy See to see what does Holy See do. But for now, he is still out waiting for his appeal. He still denies all wrongdoing. And so far, he's not going to be part of the picking of the next pope. What that means for the rest of them, we don't know. But whatever your thoughts are, please leave it in the comment section below. We look forward to hearing what you think. Is this just one more linchpin in the selection of the next person to come to bring about the end of all things? Or is it just another day in the Vatican? You let us know.
Training athletes, build leaders, changing communities. At Mentors for Life, sponsored by the Bully Me Bad Project, we provide free professional sports training and mentorship to youth with passion, drive, and the desire to grow. We connect them with top-tier coaching and leadership tools that unlock their full potential. Our athletes train with elite professionals like Coach Cedric Booty of CM3, who's worked with NBA players such as Jaden Ivey and Blake Wesley, and the dynamic team of Tevin Lake and Bobo from T2 Sports Performance. Together, they've trained standout athletes including Notre Dame football stars, NFL offensive lineman Danny Piner, and Kyron Williams. In a school or neighborhood of 1,000 youth, 5 redirected lives can mean 5 future leaders, 5 families spared heartbreak, and 5 powerful stories of hope. And this is backed by research from the Money Smart Athlete Foundation, which shows that athletes have a powerful influence on youth behavior, confidence, and long-term success. We don't just build athletes, we build mentors. High school students who complete our program will become certified Mentors for Life members and will be paid to speak, lead, and coach the next generation. To support Mentors for Life, all you have to do is click here if you're on a mobile device, or click here if you're on a computer to donate or learn more. Or you can reach us directly at mentorsforlife574@gmail.com. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Mentors for Life. Donate today and help save our youth.